I wish I could just show you every boo-boo I have on my body right now from this, what I would call part one of moving. Oh, wow. Whew. So I'm going to tell you a story, and it's about the first week of this move. So stay tuned. Hi everybody, it's Patty, Rockstar Mom. Welcome to my channel. Welcome. If you watched my video last week, you know that we finally found a house. Finally. We're going to be moving out of town. We're going to be moving just a little bit further to the west of us, still in the state of Florida. Many of you know, I've made no secret about it, that we live in the panhandle of Florida, right on the Gulf. We live in Panama City Beach, which we absolutely love. After a few years of looking for just the right house, it became very obvious to us that we were not going to be able to find the house we were looking for here in Panama City Beach. Well, yes, the houses were here, but one of two things were happening. Number one, they were way more expensive than we could afford. And number two, they had contracts on them before we could even get to them to see them. So out of frustration, we decided to move our search, and we started looking west. And we knew that probably the furthest we would go would be Pensacola, Florida, home of the Blue Angels. We started concentrating our search there and in Gulf Breeze, which is just before you get to Pensacola. And we did find a new home in Pensacola. And we, if you saw that last video, if you didn't, I'll link it below, but are so excited about this move. So here's what happened. Today is Tuesday morning. I'm taking just a quick minute to do a little video here. That was Tuesday morning. And it was last Monday morning, a week ago yesterday, when we found out that our offer was accepted for this new home that we're going to be living in. Although we've known that this was going to be in our future, it had been such a hassle and such a problem trying to find something that we really hadn't prepared. I should have started purging and weeding out and packing boxes several months ago in preparation for this, but I didn't. I almost think sometimes in the back of my mind, I just at some point gave up on it ever happening until the real estate market down here changed, and probably by then maybe we would have changed our minds. But I had done absolutely nothing to prepare for this. As you know, if you watch that video, I ask you for tips and suggestions for making this move, and I was absolutely amazed at your response to that. You had the most wonderful tips and ideas, and I am just in awe that those of you who had gone through this so many times, so many of you were so helpful. And my only problem is that when that video went up, I had already started the process, just barely. But I want to take you, because listen, I heard someone say once that one of the things that we really need to do is we need to learn how to laugh at ourselves. And I have the funniest story that I'm going to tell you. And talk about laughing at yourself. I have had 2 or 3 maybe incidents in my lifetime where I said or did something, and it was probably very embarrassing, but it was funny too, and I was able, along with others, to really and truly laugh at myself. You're going to hear that story. Listen, I get tickled every time I even think about what I did, but I want to tell you what's happened this week and probably what led up to that, and then a little bit further. So we found out on Monday morning that we had gotten the bid on the house, and we got a closing date of June the 15th. Our agent started that process for us, and we were doing paperwork and getting things together that we needed to do. We decided that we would go ahead and find a real estate agent that we really liked, that we wanted to sell our condo here. And we found someone, I did a little research, and we found someone who had already sold a few condos in here, more than anyone else, more than any other real estate agent. And we called her and we made an appointment with her for her to come out and look at our place and meet with us, and us to meet her and talk to her and question her for Thursday afternoon. And we just did nothing. We just thought, in the back of our minds, we knew that we didn't have to sell this condo before we closed and moved to the new house. So we just weren't, we just thought we had all the time in the world. So we met her. We liked her a lot. I mean, sharp as a tack. She knew her business. She was young. She was just on top of everything. We decided to go with her, but we told her we weren't quite ready to list, that we had not even packed the first box. She said, when you're ready, I'll get my photographer out and we'll get your pictures and we'll get you listed officially in the MLS and Realtor and Zillow and all those others. And she laughed, and we were good with that. Here's what I want to know. I'm going to tell you this story, and it's so funny. And what I want to know in the comments, and start thinking about it. You're going to think about it as you watch this video. Start thinking about it. But I want to know what has happened to you. Tell us something that has happened to you in a move. That was Thursday afternoon. Friday was our wedding anniversary, and I had forgotten about it, actually. And he said something Thursday night. He said, I've made dinner reservations for Friday night to celebrate our anniversary. And we have not eaten inside of a restaurant since COVID. So we decided this was going to be our first outing. I got up Friday morning, and I told Jim, I said, Jim, number one, he says it's our 10th anniversary. I think it's our 9th anniversary. I haven't had time to go back and look, but I'm going to look, and I'll let you know in another video about that. But he thinks we've been married 10 years. I think it's actually only 9. And I don't know if that's good or bad for him or for me. I'm sure this move is going to really test our marriage. We get up Friday morning. He plays golf, which I think is wonderful. I was perfectly okay. I thought, I'm going to go through and pack a few boxes and see how much I can get done. One of the things that we asked the real estate agent, what should we remove from surfaces, picture-wise and personal items? And we have over around our TV, I don't know if I've ever shown it to you and it's too late now, but we had this big gallery wall, and everything on that gallery wall had to do with us and our family. And it was our memories. And she looked around and she said, I love your place. I really do. She said, but if it were me, I would probably remove that gallery wall. I would take all that down. And I went, oh. I knew there were going to be about a zillion nail holes on that wall. And so, okay. So I get up Friday morning. I went and got boxes. And then I came back and I decided to tackle that gallery wall. Jim's on the golf course. And I've removed pictures before, and I usually take a bar of white soap, and wherever the nail comes out, I rub it in there, and that soap gets in that little hole, and you can take it with your finger and smooth it out and do this and wet it. And what happens is that, for the most part, that nail hole just sort of disappears. So I have my little bar of soap and my little ladder, and I start removing all those pictures, and I'm with my little bar of soap. Everything's going great. We have this little antique chair in that corner, and I'll show you a picture of it. And there is this humongous book sitting on it. And I'm not sure how much it weighs, but I am going to weigh it, and I'll put an annotation here so that you'll know exactly how much that weighed. But it sits in that little corner, and you go, I don't know, what do you do with it? You're not going to sit in it. So I decided to use it as a display, and at times I've had quilts on it in the winter months. I've had books, and I've put florals on it. But that day, Friday morning, it had this huge, heavy book. I needed to move that chair to get the lowest picture off of that wall. When I went to move that chair, that book slid forward off of the seat of that chair and fell right on top of my right foot. I don't have to tell you how painful it was. I jumped around and was trying to hold my foot, and I wish my camera had been on because it was funny for sure, but it hurt. I grabbed I sat down real quick, and I grabbed my foot. I just knew I had broken a toe, for sure, at least one toe. I had flip-flops. So I looked at my toe, and it was already black. And the bruising was moving up my foot as I looked at it. And there was a little cut on my toe. When the worst of the pain stopped, I walked around on it a little while, and I thought, well, I think I'm okay. It still hurt, but it was bearable. And I've had broken toes before, and I know there's really not anything you can do about them. You just tape it to the next toe and go on about your business. And it's going to be terribly sore for several days probably. So that's what I knew I was looking forward to. It was like then, the more I walked around, the more my foot hurt. Jim came home from golf, and I showed him what I'd done. And I asked him if he would tape my toes up. And he said, well, sure. He said, do you want to go to the doctor? And I said, no, there's not anything they can do about it. I've had broken toes before. They're going to tape it up. So we've decided that my toe really wasn't broken, because after that day, I have had no pain whatsoever. It's very swollen, but and the only time I can even feel anything is when I curl my toes under. I can feel the tightness from the swelling, and the top of my foot is still bruised, but I'm okay. Friday morning, I get that done. I went to somewhere else in the house. I had a little pair of pliers. I had a nail that didn't want to come out of the wall from where our picture hung, and I had it like this, and I'm pulling it out, and the pliers caught the tip of my finger, or the pad of this finger, and I have 2, mind you, blood blisters right here. Okay, injury number 2. It's like, now mind you, I had shot the video and edited the video that you saw last week talking about the move, but it had not even gone live on air yet, so I had not been able to read any of your wonderful comments with advice. It was like I would start a project, and I would walk through a room, and I would go, oh, I need to do that. And I would stop and I would do that. And then I would go to get something. I would go, oh, I think I'll pack this box right now. I had all these little projects going on. And I'm also trying to call things that I'm going through. I open a drawer. I open, the closet. And I look at something and I've got to get rid of things. I knew I had to get rid of things. So it was like I started a big garbage bag full of Goodwill stuff that I could donate to Goodwill, because right then and there, that was the quickest thing I could do. So I'm throwing things, you know, and then I'm having second thoughts about things. Should I get rid of it? Should I not? You know, don't you? You know. I walk into the kitchen and I look over at the stove at the vent hood, and there is grease on the vent hood. And Jim does all the cooking, and he's great about cleaning the stove. I never clean it, but there was grease, and up underneath it I could see it. And so I went over and I looked up at it, and I thought, I need to clean that. So I went and got all the cleaning supplies that I thought I would need. I came back with my little 2-step foot ladder, or 3-step, and I'm standing up there, and underneath that vent hood are these ridges of the metal. And I had a sponge, and I had my all-purpose spray. I thought, I'm going to start with that, and I spray it. And I got my sponge, and I start to go down those strips with my sponge, trying to clean out in between them. And I cut my finger right here, just right here. And it is horrible. Blood was spurting. So I grab it, I get over to the sink and turn on the cold water, and oh my goodness, it hurt. But it was like that was all I knew to do, is get it under the cold water. And I started holding it real tight and trying to apply pressure to it, and I could see the gash. It's a good 1/2 inch, 3/4 of an inch long. I mean, it is right there. And I wrapped a paper towel around it, and again, I'm applying as much pressure as I can, trying to get it to stop bleeding. I'm here by myself. I thought I had the bleeding stopped. I made it to our bathroom. I knew I had some hydrogen peroxide. I knew I had some, I think, Neosporin, so antibiotic ointment. So I get back there and I pour hydrogen peroxide on it, and it's still just bleeding like crazy. And I did that, and then I thought, well, okay, maybe if I put some ointment on it and then wrap a Band-Aid around it really, really tight. I did that. Within 5 minutes, it was bleeding out of the Band-Aid. And I'm trying, you know, I'm trying to work. I've got stuff to do. I've got a stove to clean. There's no doubt in my mind, looking back on it now, my finger needed stitches, big time. I found my box of latex gloves. I double gloved my hand. Then I had a pair of heavy rubber gloves that you clean with, and I put those gloves on. I went on about my cleaning the stove and the oven. About 30 minutes later, I thought I better check my finger, and I took that glove off, and it had bled through. Okay, so let's get this straight. Dropped the book on my toe, possibly broke my toe. If not broken, bruised it really, really bad. Blood blisters, a cut finger that will not stop bleeding. I've been changing Band-Aids and gloves every hour or so because of the bleeding. The bleeding has finally stopped, but it has prevented me from doing a lot of things. I'm learning how not to use my middle finger because of where it is. I just rub it on everything. We are still on Friday. It's only Friday. Friday afternoon, our agent calls us, the one here. Well, you know what, listen, I just had a phone call, so I'm not sure where I was in this story, but I believe I told you that she wanted to show the house at 2 o'clock. I did, okay. We went to dinner Friday night for our anniversary, and I'm not a drinker. Every once in a while, before COVID, when we would go out to dinner, a nice dinner especially, I might have 1 glass of wine, and I never finish it. Jim always finishes it. So I thought, I'm going to have a glass of wine. I knew that normally I would only drink half a glass. It makes me go to sleep. I had the whole glass of wine. By the time we get home, it's almost like I'm like this. I thought I was going to pass out. I was so exhausted. Jim had asked me before we went to dinner, he said, I know how tired you are. He said, if you want us to reschedule our anniversary dinner, I will reschedule it. I'll call and cancel our reservations and we'll do it later. And I said, no, I think I need to do it. I think I need to get out. I need a break from what has happened today. So we went. But by the time we left there, that wine had kicked in and I'm nodding. We get home and it's everything I can do to get ready for bed and get in the bed. And I would snap my fingers, but I can't because of this. But I was out like a light. And the next thing I knew, I opened my eyes Saturday morning. Jim was not in bed. Biscuit was in bed with me. And it was a little bit later than I ever sleep. And I'm laying there and I thought, okay, we have to do something different. This is not working the way we're trying to do it. We have to do something different. We were both going in a million different directions on Friday trying to get things done. Just going from one little thing to the next, just not finishing one project. So he walked into the bedroom. He had already been up and packing a couple of boxes, and he said, well, how do you feel? And I said, I feel like I've died. I slept so hard, which is a good thing, I guess, because I slept all night. And I said, but Jim, we need a plan. We don't have a plan. We need a plan. And I said, have you ever heard the expression, how do you eat an elephant? And he said, how do you eat an elephant? No, how do you eat an elephant? And I said, one bite at a time. And he went, oh. And I said, here's what I'm going to do. Our master bathroom needs a good deep cleaning before anyone can go in there. Our closet, and I think I've told y'all before, we have the smallest walk-in closet that I've ever seen. I mean, I can stand and hold my arms out in any direction and touch the walls. And we share that closet. And I said, I've got to get that closet cleaned out before anybody can look at it. My other closets were pretty organized, but this one was horrible. And I said, what I'm thinking is you take your clothes, I'll take mine. Everything that we know we're not going to wear, again in the next month or so, let's pack it. And we've got some big boxes, let's pack it. And then things that we don't want, let's go ahead and put in the bag to donate. And then let's hang the clothes in the closet and straighten up the shelf that's in there. And our shoes, only keep shoes that we are going to be wearing in the next month or so. And I went into the bathroom and I started. And I scrubbed the shower. I scrubbed my tub. I cleaned the vanities. I washed the mirrors. I cleaned out. He had already, after I suggested it, that was his project, was he cleaned out his side of the closet. And it took hours for me to do that. But I was so focused, and I told him, I said, don't you dare let me go do anything else until I get this taken care of. He said, I won't. I got the floors mopped, and we have this big rug in front of the tub, and it covers up quite a bit of the bathroom floor there. And it needed to be washed. And so, and it won't go in our washer and dryer. So I told Jim, as soon as I finish here, I'm going to take the rug down to the laundromat and wash it. And I asked him if he had something that he could eat, and he said yes. And I said, well, you know what, here's my plan. Here's my plan. I'm going to take the rug. I'm going to the laundromat. I'm going to put it in a washer and get it going. Then I'm going to leave there. There's a Burger King just down the street. I'm going to go and have a Impossible Burger, the vegetarian burger. And then I'm going to just eat it in my car. By then, hopefully, the wash cycle will be through. I'll go back to the laundromat, put it in the dryer, and waste a little time, and then come home. He said, sounds like a plan, but will you help me with a little project first? He was out on the porch. Our porch door was dragging a little bit. He said, I need to take this door off and realign it. And he said, would you help me hold the door for just a minute? And I said, yes. I'm standing out there helping him, and all of a sudden, I feel something biting my ankle, and I look down, and there are these tiny little flies around my right ankle, and they are just bite, 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 bite. And I went, oh, no. And so I swished them away, and I thought, okay, don't scratch, whatever you do, Patty, don't scratch. I finished with him, grabbed up the rug, and head to the laundromat. And when I tell you by now, my stress level is off the charts. It is absolutely off of the charts. I get to the laundromat, and there's not a soul there. Usually, I've been down there before to wash that rug, and it's like the place is packed. I was the only person there. I go in, didn't have to wait for a washer, did my thing, put the money in, turned it on, left. Go to the Burger King. No one in line at Burger King either. This is Memorial Day weekend Saturday morning, or Saturday at noon. I go to the drive-through window, and I've spent most of my money on the laundromat, and on the washing machine, I'm trying to think, okay, how much am I going to need for the dryer, and I need to eat. So I was scrambling around for money, and the girl at the window says, may I take your order? And I said, I'll have the number 3 Whopper Invisible Burger combo. And as soon as I said it, I realized what I'd said, and I tried to correct myself, and I couldn't get Impossible out, and I kept saying Invisible, the Whopper Invisible combo number 3, and by now she is literally rolling. She's laughing so hard. Then I start laughing, and I can't even pull forward. Finally she said, I know what you mean, and she could barely get it out. She was laughing so hard. And I pull up to the window, and she opened that window, and all the employees at Burger King had heard it, and they are just, you could tell they're laughing so hard that it's like they're rolling in the floor. She's still laughing. I'm laughing. Tears are rolling down my face. I'm laughing so hard. And I said, listen, here's the deal. I could tell you everything that's going on in my life right now, but honestly, I don't have time. I said, but what I've done is I've given y'all a really good laugh. Something that you'll probably always remember. Something that you will tell other employees, probably your boss. Probably you'll never hear anything like that again. But more than that, it made me laugh. And it broke that cycle of stress that I was feeling. I said I could tell you what's going on in my life and why that happened, but you don't want to hear it. You don't want to hear it. The good news is we all of us feel better now. So I pulled from the drive-through window and saw a parking space there in their parking lot that had a big tree, and it was shaded. And I pulled over into that parking space, and I had my Willie's Roadhouse music on, Sirius radio, and I just left the car on, and I took that Whopper Invisible Burger out of the bag, and I looked at it, and I thought, why do they make these things so big? I mean, it was this big around, and I thought, I'm gonna send Burger King a note and ask them to make a child's version of this that I can order. It was huge. And I've had them before, and I've never really noticed that they were that big. I never finished one. I sat there and I thought, you know what? I'm by myself. I'm under a shade tree. I'm listening to Willie's Roadhouse. I'm just going to take a few minutes for myself. And I started taking just little bites of that invisible burger. And it was like I was just savoring every bite and listening to music. And the air conditioner was on in the car, and it was cool. And before I knew it, I had eaten that entire Whopper burger. I left. I went back down to the laundromat. As I was walking in, the washer was turning off. I was still the only person there. Got it out, put it in the dryer, and I thought, you know what? I'm going to set it for like 20 minutes. And I'm going to take it back. We've got a porch out here, as you can see. And I thought, I knew it wouldn't be dry because it's so big and heavy, but at least I would have the main water out of it. And my thinking was I would just put it out on the chairs, which is a big no-no in this community. We're not supposed to have beach towels or anything like that out on our porches and balconies. So I thought, I'm just good. I don't care. I'm moving. Selling this place, they can't do anything. I came home. It was still damp. I laid it out there. The sun was shining. I knew it would dry in no time, and that's what I did. I came in, I finished everything, that project completely up, except for putting that rug down. Again, that's Saturday. And started on other projects. And while I was sitting at the laundromat, that 20 minutes or so waiting, I had my phone and I started reading your comments, your wonderful comments about all of the things to do. And one of the things that almost every single one of you said was, you know, before you ever even pack, go through and pull everything that you can donate or give away or throw away, and do that, which we hadn't done. But I started, even doing it right then, I was much more aggressive than I had been before in getting rid of stuff. I can't tell you how many trips Jim took to the dumpster with garbage. I can't tell you how many trips he took to the Goodwill. We had rented a little storage room to put some small boxes in. Jim had already contacted movers, and there was a number of boxes that they would move that was included in the price, and we wanted those to be the big heavy boxes that we couldn't manipulate. And honestly, at that point, it was too late for us to get help. We just felt like we couldn't have anybody come in and pack for us because we needed to be going through things. We needed to physically touch everything and decide whether or not we were going to keep it or get rid of it. So it was not something that someone could do for us. So we went to bed Saturday night. And at some point during the night, evidently, I started scratching my bug-bitten ankle in my sleep, and the itching woke me up. And if that's ever happened to you, I don't have to say anything else. Once you start scratching an itch, it's all over. It was like I could not get any relief. It was all around my ankle. By the time I got up Sunday morning, my ankle, and I mean all around the back, the sides, the front, it was just, it almost looked like it was raw. I had scratched it so much either in my sleep or when I was awake because of it. Finally found some ointment that I could put on it, and that helped somewhat, but it's still itching and I still have whelps on it. I have my finger that's cut open. I have my broken toes on the same foot as the ankle. I have my blood blisters. My arms are covered in bruises from banging into stuff, and you know, box lids, that cardboard is sharp, and I just stopped, after a point I just stopped worrying about that. But I got quite a bit done Sunday. We get up Monday morning and I had just a few things left to do that I had saved. Everything looked really good. I wanted to dust one last time all the surfaces. I wanted to mop the bathroom floors, and I wanted to run the vacuum and on the carpeted areas and rug areas, and I wanted to do Bono on the floors on our hardwoods. And then that was going to be it in preparation for these people to see this place at 2 o'clock on Monday afternoon. About 1 o'clock Monday afternoon, we were getting ready to leave, and my phone rang, and it was our agent here. And she said, I have some bad news. The prospective buyers are just tired and they don't want to look today anymore. So they're canceling coming to see the condo. I don't know. I just don't know. But you know what? We hadn't had lunch. Jim says, I have an idea. Let's go have lunch someplace fun. We have a new Mexican restaurant. So we decided to go there and have lunch, and we just piddled all afternoon yesterday and really and truly did nothing. We just relaxed. We decided we're not going to do a thing. From this point on out, I'm going to try to keep everything as picked up and clean as possible. And when I go to a closet, say, to empty it, I'm going to keep everything very contained right there. I'm going to finish that project before I start anything new, whether it's a cabinet or whatever I'm packing up. It's just gonna be right there. I'll do that, and then that'll be it. We did tell our agent that we wanted 24-hour notice for anybody to see it for as long as we were here. And you know, if there was truly a situation where the buyers were from out of town and maybe they didn't have the 24 hours, that if they could see it under our conditions, that would be fine. So that's sort of where we are. Excited about closing on our new home in Pensacola and getting that started. We're just purging as much as we can as we go, but we've decided that, you know, we're not going to be fanatical about it. And when the movers get there with the truck, and we're going to take a small U-Haul with what's in our storage room. When we get there, we're going to unload everything into that wonderful garage. All the boxes, not the furniture, but all the boxes in that wonderful garage. And then as we feel up to it, we will unpack and purge again. I do want to say that a suggestion that, not just one of you, I can't give one person credit for it, because I had this suggestion from several people, and I've moved a lot in my lifetime, but I've never thought about this, and this is such a good suggestion. She said to pack a set of your sheets like a blanket, you know, your coffee pot, things that when the movers leave that first night that you're going to need, put them in your car with you. Put everything that you're going to need immediately that night or early that next morning, put it in a box and put it in your car so that you can have access to it immediately, and you don't have to go rummaging through boxes or looking for the box that might have those things in it. I loved that idea. That was probably one of my favorite ideas, so we'll definitely be doing that. Listen, if you're moving or thinking about moving, I hope you will watch that video, and I hope you will read the comments. because there are so many, 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 many wonderful ideas that can make this whole process so much easier. You know, a lot of people said, Patty, just hire movers to come in and pack you and do everything, and y'all go on vacation, do something. Well, for us and for many of you, that's not going to happen for any number of reasons. So it would be nice if you could. I mean, our son and his family moved last year from DC to Minneapolis, and they both work for the government. Yeah, the government came in and they packed everything, and moved it. We don't have that luxury. And I know many of you don't have that luxury either. It's done. I want to show you something really cute that sort of made my day too. I was in the throes of all this, and the doorbell rang, and it was our mailman, which he rarely brings anything to the door, but he had this little package, and he said, I wanted to give this to you. He said, I didn't have a box open at the gazebo, and I opened it up, and I mean, listen, just imagine how bedraggled I am. And I opened the box. It was a small box, and it was the girls from SQHAIRBANDS had sent me this headband. Look at it. Look at this. Is that not the cutest thing? If you're not familiar with the SQHAIRBANDS, this is what they do, just like sunglasses. I'm looking in my viewfinder. Is that not the cutest thing? And although when we went to lunch yesterday at the Mexican restaurant, I wore this, and I'll save this for the 4th of July. The link is a permanent link in the description box below. If you're interested in checking out the SQHAIRBANDS, there's a discount. There's a discount code when you order them. They're not expensive at all. They come in every color and pattern you can imagine. They are so comfortable because it's just like putting your sunglasses up on your head. That's what it feels like. They come in 2 sizes. And if you need something for the 4th of July to be just a little more special, try wearing a flag headband that is so cute and so comfortable. Thank you, girls, for sending me this. You literally made my day when this came in. Thank you. And for the rest of you, just go look. Just go over there and look. It's listed below. Love it. Love it. Don't know how I could live without them once I found them. I think you'll like them too. Here's what I want to know. You gave me all the tips. You gave me all the tips. But what I really want to know in your comments under this video is funny or crazy things that's happened to you that involves moving. Share with us so that we can laugh with you. Not at you, but laugh with you. Or go, oh yeah, that happened to me too. Yep, that happened to me. Yep. I loved reading those comments. Every time I've been able to take a little break, I grab my phone or I grab my computer and I read your comments. And I love it. It's probably been what saved me. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much for watching. Know that I love you, and I'll see you soon. Don't forget to go out and be kind. Just be kind. Bye-bye.